Hello, everybody, and welcome to Whiskey and a Movie. This is a new show that we're doing on Infamous Horror's YouTube channel, where me and my dad will be reviewing a movie and pairing it with the whiskey and discussing what we thought of the movie and why we chose the particular whiskey or the spirit that we chose to pair with the movie. And today we are reviewing Elizabeth Banks' Cocaine Bear. And Dad, what did you think of the movie Cocaine Bear?
Well, I went into Cocaine Bear not much in the way of expectations because it is what it is. It's a movie about a bear that gets high on cocaine and runs amok. I was surprised. I was entertained. It kept me entertained throughout the whole movie, even though in some aspects it's like a bunch of little vignettes put together because this scene happens and then this scene happens and this scene happens and Margot Martindale is the one who kind of pulls some of it together. She's kind of surprising in that aspect that she pulls it together. But I was really impressed by the star caliber, Margot Martindale playing just a park ranger, Ray Liotta playing
Ray Liotta.
Ray Liotta playing basically a mob boss, a capo, and I really enjoyed it.
Jackson Jr. as one
of his lieutenants from the mob, and what's Han Solo's name?
Gosh, can't remember his name.
He wasn't flying the Millennium Falcon. He was driving an old pickup. But it was definitely a very interesting movie. Not as slashery and gory as it could have been. You mentioned that you think Elizabeth Banks may have cut a little bit of that out of respect for
Ray Liotta's death, because I read some articles that said his death was originally much gorier than it was at the end, but then he died suddenly, and they decided to cut the gore out in the final sequence to respect him in that kind of way.
Good. Yeah, I mean his end in the movie was rather spectacular. I guess we should have said spoilers at the beginning of this, just in case anybody
has not seen. Well, it's been out for a few months, so
if in case anybody has not seen Cocaine Bear, we do recommend it. It's a fun flick,
and I would say almost an unrecognizable Jesse Tyler Ferguson from Modern Family in there.
Oh yeah.
Played Margot Martindale's love interest.
Yes. Well, he was her love interest. I don't know if he had any interest in her.
Yeah.
It was kind of a one-sided deal, but I think that made the relationship a little more interesting.
And Dad, what whiskey or spirit did you decide to pair with Cocaine Bear?
Well, I went out kind of on a limb based on there's a line in the movie about what do you do when you see a bear, and it's if it's brown, lay down. If it's black, fight back, or attack.
Yeah.
So that brown bear image kind of stuck out in my mind, and I picked, and also because of the celebrity power of this movie, from the producer, the director on down, I picked a celebrity whiskey. This is Brown Sugar Bourbon from Jamie Foxx, but because it's whiskey and a movie, I did go with the 103 because the regular Brown Sugar Bourbon clocks in like it's 70 proof, which is not a legal whiskey. Whiskey has to be 80 proof or higher. But this one has a lot of brown sugar and cinnamon flavors added to it, and a little bit of caramel color. So again, this is technically not a whiskey either, but it's satisfying.
It's kind of,
when you go, to me, it's a lot like the movie Cocaine Bear. It's not a deep thinking movie. It is just something to enjoy and have a good time with.
It's really just an introductory kind of.
Oh yeah. This is something you could serve to all your friends, even friends who are not whiskey drinkers, and they would enjoy this. But it's 103, so it has a bite just like Cocaine Bear.
And with that being also kind of one you can introduce to a lot of, new people to it. That's kind of how I also think of Cocaine Bear, because it's not as slashery or gory as it could have been. It could be that, babysitters showing their kids that they're babysitting, like if they think they're old enough.
So so this is an introductory gore or introductory slasher.
Kind of like a gateway to more genre films, if you will, I think.
Yeah.
Because it's not as bad as other films that we've seen, and we're like, yeah.
This one I definitely, like I said, I enjoyed it all the way through to the end. It was interesting. So AJ, what'd you pick as your spirit to go with this?
So I chose Hudson Whiskey New York's Do the Right Thing, and this is what you would say is a baby whiskey or baby rye, right? Because that's what Hudson Whiskey does. They're
young. Their products are pretty young,
so it's not really aged a whole lot. So it's a good introductory as well if you haven't done a lot of rye in the past, because it's not that hard and rough as others can be. And I believe the proof on this is it's 46% alcohol by volume, so that would make it
92 proof.
92 proof, so it's not that heavy. And there is some taste of honey on the palate when you get it. So that's also why I chose it for a Cocaine Bear, because of that honey and also the cinnamon that you will get from Do the Right Thing.
So you get cinnamon on that also. I mean, mine is very obvious.
Mine's pretty much heavy on the honey flavor.
Okay.
So did you want to try each other's and see what we thought of them?
I think that's what we should do.
Yeah.
Do you want to try mine first or yours first?
You can.
No, pour me a little.
You can try some of mine first.
I did like the little bear cubs.
Oh yeah, at the very end,
doing the cocaine as well. Yeah, this movie may be rated R, not for the gore, but because you've got 10-year-olds out doing cocaine in the woods. So,
that was roughly in the very beginning.
Very close to the movie, beginning of the movie. Yes. Oh, well, I get a lot of traditional rye notes on that. It's grassy. Of course, now I'm coming off the brown sugar.
Yeah, you are coming off
bourbon.
the brown sugar.
So it has more cinnamon than this does. But this is interesting. This is good. I would say though I get more of the grassy characteristics of rye from this than the cinnamon or pepper or the peppers that a lot of people get from a rye.
On Craft Sack, when I was on earlier checking out the bottle, let's see what they said here.
I'm a member of Whiskey University, and we try to discourage people from looking at tasting notes,
right? Because it's going to interfere with what you want to taste.
Well, everybody's palate's different, so everybody, gets something different. People can enjoy things that some people hate.
So. Right? Yeah. And if you look up the tasting notes, you're going to be like, "Oh yeah, I taste that in there," when really you may not necessarily taste it, but since somebody brought it up to you or be like, this is what you should expect.
The power of suggestion.
Yes.
Yeah.
So continuing on Cocaine Bear, what would you say would be your overall take from it? Because we talked about it a little bit.
Well, although it's based on true events,
It's got to be loosely based because
it didn't seem very plausible to me
no,
that a bear was going to go tracking down all these red bags in the woods just so he could get higher and higher.
Because I think in the original story, his heart, or the bear's heart, may have imploded after.
A bear, they had him eating a 5-pound block of cocaine,
which is not logical at all.
I mean, it's like, yeah, I think I can remember. I'm old enough to remember somebody by the name of Lenny Bias who did have that happen to him. He did cocaine and he had a heart failure. So, yeah, it's a little implausible, but very entertaining all the way through. After there's an old saying about a pound of flesh.
Yes.
From the medieval times, that if you lied to the king or whatever, he would actually take a pound of flesh out of your backside. Painful retribution.
That would be very painful.
But I'm thinking about the fact that Margot Martindale basically had a pound of flesh ripped out of her backside, and she kept fighting. So Margot Martindale is.
So
she's an action hero now.
Yeah. And I think I showed you that article where she was like, she did not expect to be an action star at this age in her life. Yeah.
I mean, come on, give the lady credit. She's been around town for a while. She doesn't need to, you would think somebody would have a stand-in for her, but Elizabeth Banks put her through it.
Yeah, and you know what? She was also one of our favorite side characters early on in the Dexter series.
Well, I loved her, especially now that we're doing Whiskey movie. We can talk about her role in Justified,
right?
Where she made that apple pie moonshine, and so maybe out of courtesy to Margot, we should have had an apple pie moonshine in here tonight. But,
well, I have some, but
yeah, but it doesn't. Yeah.
We
won't talk about that.
All right, so now let me try your brown sugar bourbon.
Oh yeah. And this is, folks, this is sweet stuff.
When I remember it, yeah, it is very sweet. It doesn't
drink like 103 proof.
No.
But the 103 proof keeps it from being just a syrup. It really does improve it, I think.
So when I first brought this up to you as an idea for Whiskey at a Movie, what were your original thoughts? Because we are in the first episode of this, and I know you might have been skeptical in the past before.
I was a little skeptical. I was like, okay, we can do that, but how do I get creative? What do I pick from the liquor cabinet that might
pair well
and give us some talking points? And like I said, it was because I saw the stars in the movie and I thought about celebrity, and you helped me come up with the idea and write the celebrity whiskey class that I teach with
Whiskey University.
Yeah. And so I went to one of the celebrity whiskeys that didn't make the class, but I really love. I appreciate everything Jamie Foxx has done for his brand, and it is his brand. Here's to you, Jamie Foxx.
And I do get like the brown sugar on the nose.
Oh, yeah.
It is really powerful on the nose with the brown sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like graham crackers in a way, but much more like that brown sugar that you use to cook stuff with.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what I get.
Yep.
And yeah, I did get that cinnamon taste on it.
Cinnamon on the palate. Yep, there it is. Yes, folks, if you've been drinking Fireball and you've been disappointed, you need to try Brown Sugar Bourbon 103.
And you know what? This is, to me, I'm not a Fireball guy at all. at least ever since the cinnamon test came out or the cinnamon challenge came out.
Yeah.
So I appreciate Brown Sugar Bourbon a lot because it does not have that overpowering.
Well, it's got more of that bourbon base.
Yes.
It's definitely got more of a whiskey base. It's not. Should I dare tell people that Fireball is actually made with Canadian whiskey?
I think you should. Yeah.
Yeah, Fireball is made with Canadian whiskey. Although they've run into a few little road bumps recently with not having everything made with whiskey. Some of it's been made with malt. So read your label carefully when you buy your Fireball. But Brown Sugar Bourbon is definitely, they do start with a bourbon base without a doubt. And like I said, 103 proof. This will do it for you.
And speaking of notes of what you get, what's the overall grade that you would give Cocaine Bear? Out of 5 stars or out of 10?
No, out of 5 stars, I would give it 4 paws.
Really? 4?
4 paws. It's a very entertaining movie.
Yeah, it was blown entertaining.
Away. It is not Shakespearean drama.
No.
But it was very entertaining.
And you know what? This is Elizabeth Banks' best movie she directed, I believe.
What else has she directed?
She directed a remake or a reboot of Charlie's Angels before this came out.
Oh. Okay.
With Kirsten Stewart that you had no interest in seeing.
Well, I'm not a Kristen Stewart fan. Okay. He's called me out. I am not a Kristen Stewart fan.
Well, I think he did like Adventureland, maybe.
A little bit. Yeah. Maybe a mellowing. Maybe
her and Pete Davidson should make a movie for you.
Yeah, we could talk about what whiskey I'd pick to go with that. Yeah.
And you say what piss whiskey you would pick with that?
No, I did not. I said what whiskey I would pick to go with that.
Okay, for Cocaine Bear, I think I'd give it a 3 out of 5 paws. I think, it wasn't logical, but it was fun. It was campy. It was entertaining.
Well, I gave it 4 paws because that bear was running the whole way. All 4 paws were hitting the ground.
It was kind of inspiring, wasn't it?
It was. It
made you kind of want to go outside and be like, you know what? I can do that for my own too.
It was. I mean, if cocaine can help you run like that, maybe I'm not going to do that.
Maybe we should not say that on air.
No. I don't do drugs. Just do whiskey.
Dare, kids, remember.
Yeah. I mean, is there going to be an age statement on this? I mean,
there could be, but let's see, guys. For the next movie we are going to do on Whiskey and a Movie is going to be John Wick Chapter 4. Now, it's not necessarily horror in any kind of way, but it is a genre action film that does have its fair share of gore that can keep genre fans entertained, I believe.
Well, what was the body count?
The body count is up there for John Wick 4.
It's got to be one of the higher body counts of a movie. Although, again, I sat still for over 2 hours. And
I did amazed. Too, yeah.
Just amazed. The action just kept coming.
We will save that for later, but it is amazing, just a side note, how that franchise just gets better with every sequel. When a lot of franchises divulge in more ambition, more world building, and they just kind of collapse onto themselves. Yeah,
I would say I agree. The 4th movie in the series, and it's still fresh.
Well, guys, everybody, this has been Whiskey and a Movie on Infamous Horrors. We hope you enjoyed yourselves and maybe look up these whiskeys, or if not, Dad, what would you pair if people cannot find these whiskeys or spirits in their local ABC stores?
Well, I had another whiskey that I was picking because, this all kind of takes place in Appalachia.
Right.
And so it's on the other side of the mountains. But I had picked Chattanooga Whiskey. And I was going with their straight bourbon, but their cash strength, which is 111.
111 proof.
Yeah. Do you want to
Yeah,
taste
give me
this?
a second. Yeah.
All right. So this has traditional bourbon notes on the nose, which is, a lot of that honey, vanilla, caramel.
And guys, if you're ever if you're ever interested in learning about the whiskeys that we chose, I can put a link to where you can buy it online, or just if you want to look it up online. Each whiskey that we choose and pair with a movie in this series, we can talk.
I'm thinking though, Brown Sugar Bourbon is probably available nationwide.
Yeah. So, but
if you can't, you may not find the 103, but you can certainly find the other. I know AJ and I live in a control state, which means that the state controls the ABC stores, and we do have the regular Brown Sugar Bourbon available in our stores. Had to go south across the state line to get the 103.
And if you live in the Carolinas, it is always better to go to the South Carolina. Well, sometimes it can be.
It kind of depends. Kind of depends.
Because we've had a lot of success, I'd say, in state line liquors going down there.
Yeah, we have. But Southern Spirits, State Line Elite, Frugal McDougal, Lake Wiley Liquors. There are so many just across the border that do a great job and come pretty close to retail for most of their products. But the difference is, okay, we're in a retail or a control state, so everything, if we can get it, is very close to retail. There's a possibility when you go to a non-control state like South Carolina that the store owner, because he has something limited, he may make a little extra profit on it.
He could price gouge if he
if he wants to. We're fortunate. We've got several very good stores that hold very close to retail. They do hold back on their allocated stuff, but they do a good job of staying pretty close to retail with stuff they put on the shelf.
Like I like that ABC store in Mitten Hill that I got creek water from a few times that has the creek water, even though it's made in North Carolina.
Oh yeah, I mean that's all part of our Mecklenburg County system. The Mint Hill store is still just like any other store here in Mecklenburg County.
And like you said, you go to Whiskey University online and have some classes. Is there anything you'd like to tell our listeners if they would prefer?
If they are interested, if they're interested in learning more about whiskey in general, there are a number of classes posted every month on Eventbrite that are available to the general public. If you want to take a class, you want to learn more about Whiskey University, Eventbrite, that's a wonderful avenue for you to choose.
Because at first, when I joined you on a couple of those classes, I thought it was going to be mainly just tasting, but no, it is kind of like a Boardwalk Empire episode, kind of. Well,
it depends on the class you go to, AJ. But our motto is where history and taste meet.
So if you're interested in that, we can possibly also put a link
for Whiskey University and Eventbrite. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining us on Whiskey and a Movie today. It's been fun, and I hope you had a good time, and you'd like to learn more about everything, and go check out Cocaine Bear because it is a lot of fun.
Thanks, everybody.